Welcome to the Outdoor Marketing Podcast, the show that brings fresh marketing and creative strategies to the outdoor industry, helping professionals tell their story with clarity and impact. I'm your host, Miles Ramsey, and today's guest that's going to be joining me here is Rebecca Maguire. Rebecca does a myriad of things in the outdoor industry. She's also a graphic designer, which is what we're going to spend a lot of time talking about here today. So stick around here. We're going to dive in with Rebecca in just a few minutes.
The Outdoor Marketing Podcast is a spin-off of the Outdoor Marketing Bootcamp, a 2-day virtual learning event which covers a wide range of marketing topics, from video and photo creation to better social media management, to influencer marketing, paid media tips, and so much more. Tickets go on sale in September, but go ahead and add the dates to your calendar now, February 17th and 18th, 2026. Support for the podcast is provided by American Trails, advocating for more trails and better trails. Visit their website at americantrails.org. Support is also provided by 5280 Creative, a branding and video production agency who specializes in work in the outdoor industry. Check out their work at 5280creative.com. That's 52, then the word 80 spelled out, creative.com.
Okay, we are here with the Outdoor Marketing Podcast with Rebecca Maguire. Hello, Rebecca. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So you have a lot of different roles that you play in different organizations. Tell us about all the things that you are doing in the outdoor industry and beyond.
Oh, goodness. That may take a while.
Yeah.
I started working for the Association of Outdoor Recreation and Education, AORE, back at the beginning of 2022 as their education coordinator. And it has kind of developed into a lot more because we're a small team. And so, of course, you wear many hats in a nonprofit and with a small team. So I help with some marketing, mostly education, lots of different things to keep AORE going. Through AORE, I was connected with Rachel Frankina at SORP, the Society of Outdoor Recreation Professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And I started there as kind of it was a contract role working on communications and operations, and it has developed into a part-time role as the manager of membership and communications. So I do a lot of the marketing, the email communication, any design that comes up, just anything in the marketing realm. And then I also do membership stuff. So talking to members, making sure they're renewing, because it kind of falls into that communication realm. But this all kind of wraps up into, I am also run my own business, Rebecca Lee Designs, which I went full-time in 2021. And I specialize in working with outdoor industry companies. So for instance, like I work a lot with Levita Trails. It's a very small town in southern Colorado, but Levita Trails has come in and they're doing lots of great things. Been around for 10 years, actually. I did their branding. I did their website. They, in 2023, they came out with a guide. So like I put that together.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that in your portfolio. It looks really good.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of things like that. Work with the Kachera Recreation Program, which is kind of adjacent to Levita, and many other things. So I started while I'm passionate about the outdoors, and I've worked with the Kachera Valley Recreation Program because it's my dad's program for years. I really got kicked off in the nonprofit world too, working with the Association of RV Parks and Campgrounds for 3 years here in Denver.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, that's quite the rap sheet that you have.
Yes.
All right, so let me ask you this. Now, did you enter this kind of creative space as a designer and then just started taking on additional responsibilities in marketing, or was it the other way around?
Well, when I started at Arvik, which is now Ojai, I was marketing. But the graphic design was kind of the perk of it for me. Ojai used to do a member magazine 3 times a year.
Hmm.
So I was responsible for that. And that was kind of like the main lift, if you will, at
Hmm.
my job because I did it all. I managed the editor, or I was the editor. I managed the writer. I
Hmm.
did the graphic design,
Hmm.
um, sold ads, all the things.
You did all
Uh,
the stuff. You did
oh,
basically concept to completion on that.
yes.
Or
Um,
there's a new term I've learned recently. Maybe you know it. Have you ever heard the term soup to nuts?
no.
Yeah. Okay, I encountered that last week. It's bizarre, and I'm like, what the heck does that mean? But
Yeah.
just so you know, that means concept to completion, and
Okay.
it's derivative of I think the 1930s, where you would start your meal with soup, and apparently you would end it dessert included nuts usually. So there you go.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
so
Good
now
little
you
tidbit.
know. Yeah, the little tidbit there. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Yeah, so that I I have a master or I have a undergrad degree in communications, mass communications,
Yeah.
and then a master's in business administration. And I'm what many people call a yerd, a yearbook nerd. I did yearbook from um first grade through college.
Hmm.
And so graphic design has always been like my thing, my favorite thing. But I have a
Hmm.
very analytical mind, and so marketing has
Hmm.
really just fit in.
Hmm.
And then as I've developed working with associations, I've worked the membership stuff has come up and been a really nice balance to being creative. And I'm sure
Hmm.
you experienced that too. Like there's you got to sometimes balance it out or you're going to get creative burnout. So
Yeah,
I like the
for sure.
balance.
It's kind of nice. Like my wife and I, who's also a creative. That's general term, but she's more on the photography side. She's professor of photography, has her own photography business, but she has a design degree. We talk a lot about that burnout factor, and like sometimes it's nice just to kind of be in an assembly line mode
Hmm.
where it's kind of mindless and you can just kind of like do a task and get
Yeah.
that task completed and then be like, okay, great. Now I can turn back on my creative mind. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Yes, I do. And yeah, I like to go, I don't necessarily divide up my day by any means, but yeah, I'll like
Mhm.
sit there and be like, okay, today is going to be like a data day. I'm going to go and I'm going to do membership stuff
Right.
and, clean up reports and stuff. That's the kind of day I need.
Hmm.
Um, but then, there's always creativity in it. And then
Hmm.
it's like spurring ideas that maybe in another email or when I create flyers for SORP or something like that, it's really helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so now you said your degrees in did you say masters? Did I hear that right?
I have a bachelor's in mass communications and a master's in business
Okay.
administration.
Okay, gotcha. So no formal graphic design training, is that correct? It's just something you've always done?
Yeah, I have always done it. I learned a lot in
Hmm.
doing yearbook
Yeah.
and I've kind of developed, gone from pages to InDesign to now,
Hmm.
learning Canva and all the things.
Hmm.
I'll say mostly self-taught, but I have taken graphic design classes, but no degree in it.
Well, I was curious about that because I think a lot of people do enter design in whatever capacity, kind of in a non-formal manner now. Obviously, like you mentioned, Canva. There's so many more tools that allow somebody to more instantaneously design something that is not terrible, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So that definitely helps. But with a lot of people that that attended our outdoor marketing boot camp, and probably the people that will listen to this podcast, they're probably also coming from that kind of non-traditional background. You said you took some classes. Now, was that at like a local university? Was it an online resource? How did you find that?
I have done kind of it all. I've done some online things when I'm trying to just
Hmm.
level up or learn a skill. I love Skillshare .com,
Hmm.
which, you can learn anything from like cooking to graphic design.
Sure.
But I took graphic design classes in college, in
Hmm.
undergrad.
Hmm.
So, but that was more of a, well, they were graphic design classes. graphic designs can fall into different categories. And so it was definitely more of like graphic design for like art.
Yeah.
Um, and not what I like to call myself as a marketing graphic designer or a marketing designer,
Hmm.
because there's differences between designing something that's maybe going to be hung on a wall versus
Right.
in a flyer and communicate a message to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So I've taken, yeah, lots of a variety.
Yeah. I'm just really curious about that. Like, I feel like, and maybe somebody will throw stones at me for saying this, but I do feel like in a lot of ways, going to a traditional university for a degree in graphic design, I'm not saying it's never a good idea, but more and more and more, I'm like, I don't know if this is necessary to go spend 20 grand a year on getting this, degree in this, where I feel like the same quality of education can probably be found online. I hate to put you on the hot seat on that one, but do you disagree with that? Do you think that there's some merit in that statement? What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think there's some merit in that. I think it really depends on what someone wants to do.
Hmm.
Like I know someone who went to college for like illustrating,
Hmm.
and they're coming into the graphic design space, and it's like you're learning you're learning some foundational things, I guess.
Hmm. Hmm.
But when you're coming to graphic design, especially like for marketing, you really have to have other experience. I don't know the best way to describe it,
No.
but with mass communications as my background,
Hmm.
it's really thinking about how can I share the message that I need to share in a
Yeah.
visually appealing way.
Right.
And I'll be honest, I didn't have a great time in my graphic design classes in undergrad because
Mm.
my it was two different departments, art department and a mass comm department.
Hmm.
And I was told, I need to be prepared for critiques and I need to be doing this and I need to focus on this, this, and this. And I'm like, hierarchy, clarity, these things are important. Yes.
Right.
I also have to think about what is the end goal. So I
Right.
think thinking about it as your career path, what is your end goal?
Hmm.
My career, I wanted to be a yearbook representative, work for something like a Jostens or a Herff Jones and go
Hmm.
around and help kids build a yearbook.
Right.
And it's very similar. You're telling a story. You're making it clear what's going on in that year that happened.
Right.
Um, so I wouldn't knock going
Right.
graphic design, but it's also like you pay what, 20 grand for a degree, and then
Sure.
what are you going to do with it
Sure.
when you need that marketing kind of knowledge or
Yeah.
communications knowledge?
In a lot of ways, I think that, yeah. Again, I don't want to knock anybody that's doing that. Hey, if you get into a wonderful design program and that's a pathway, and you have, that next level talent, awesome, way to go. But part of me is just like, come on, dude, don't spend that money. I didn't go, and I'm also biased. Like I didn't go to college except for like a few undergraduate recording courses that I took once upon a time, and so like I do have a little bit of that bias, I think, too, coming into it, where yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah. And I think like if you're really out there and you're really working in the field, you're going to
Hmm.
pick up the critiques. You're going to
Yeah,
pick up what works, what doesn't. So I mean, yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of if you were in college, you'd probably be getting a handful of professors'
sure,
input. While, when you're out in the real world, you're
sure.
hearing it from people. When I did the magazine and I would do like surveys, I'm hearing from
Hmm.
people that were, give me feedback, honest feedback. So,
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the people that are in this outdoor space, which is you helped out. You were on one of our panels for the boot camp. Firsthand that a lot of people are being asked to wear these hats, these
mhm.
creative or marketing hats that maybe don't have that background, and so most of them are coming into it without that degree or without any kind of knowledge. And just to know that there's opportunities and resources out there for people to be able to learn these skills in that real world hands-on environment, I think is wonderful that we've arrived at that place in the world we live in today. The internet can be used for a lot of terrible things, don't get me wrong, but there's also a lot of good things that it can be used for. Um,
Yeah. And
I
and
oh,
there's
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say, and there's room for everyone too in this world because, if you come into it and you're thinking about doing graphic design, just
Hmm.
it's honestly just what looks good.
Right. Right.
And and if you already kind of have that mindset of like you look at a poster and you're like, something just doesn't look right. I mean, you're
Hmm.
heading in the right direction. You've
Hmm.
got um that that brain that can tell you something's not right, what's not right about it, and then you go from
Then
there.
you can go from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the analytical side of your brain. Okay, we've tapped into the creative side.
Mhm.
Let's go over. I don't know if it's left brain, right brain, a combination of the two, but let's go over to the analytical side. So you said with how'd you pronounce? Did you say AOR?
Aor, yes.
AOR. Oh, there's so many acronyms. There's too many acronyms, Rebecca.
There
Okay,
are.
with AOR or SORP because I'm like AORE. That's how my brain. I don't know. Whatever.
Mhm.
Um, can you talk about what you're doing on like the side of like diving into metrics or campaigns or give us a little taste of what your day to day is like on that analytical side.
So, well, I'll be honest with the social media for Aor. We actually have Adrienne Band who does, or
Hmm.
Adrienne Band Maxwell, I should say, she just got married. She does our social media and she's phenomenal
Hmm.
because that's her wheelhouse
Yeah.
and she can do those analyticals and she can build target campaigns. My analytical side on Aor is the education, which is
Hmm.
really fun because it's helping me learn. I'm not an outdoor facilitator, but I'm an outdoor enthusiast. I love to hike. I love to camp. I want my kids to spend as much time outdoors as possible.
Sure.
So I'm learning from just like reviewing proposals and looking at proposals for our conference, and then also coming up with our webinar series of what our members are really looking
Right.
for.
Right.
And so it's really fun. And then you get into the nitty gritty of, okay, so right now we have like over 50 proposals for our conference and we can only accept, I don't know, 35 maybe, but
Yeah.
I have to start figuring that out. I have to figure out room placements and when things aren't going to compete, like putting two sessions that are about the same thing at the same
Sure.
time.
Sure.
And so it's a lot of fun. And then we have a amazing review team and he'll go through and score, and I have to look at the numbers and the
Sure.
comments and all that and
Sure.
figure out what works and what doesn't.
Sure. Yeah. On the SORP side, is it more of the same on that side?
SORP, I'm doing a little bit more of member facing things. So,
Hmm.
communications, our emails, our webinars,
Hmm.
I'm kind of helping make sure everyone knows what's happening,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is important. And for anyone listening who is aware of this, associations, the biggest question is how do you get your membership to engage?
Right.
Like bottom line, it can, that also plays into money and membership and things like that. But how do you get people to engage? So for SORP, I just did a membership survey. So we're looking at the
Hmm.
results of that and
Hmm.
analyzing it.
Hmm.
And we got really great feedback, but now it's time to start implementing some
Right.
changes and things like that. So using our
That's
resources and our discussion boards and stuff.
Yeah, and on the SORP side, I'm more familiar with that side. I do see some activity on message boards and trying to connect that professional community together. What are you seeing that's most effective in that space? Keeping in mind that you're reaching professional to professional is kind of the structure of that organization. Is it social media? Is it email marketing? What's your most effective? And I know you guys also do some in-person events too, and I'm curious about that.
Well, I have not found social media to be as effective on the SORP side of things.
Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
started at SORP in August or September of 2023.
Mhm.
And shortly after, I think December of 2023, we started our Instagram. Facebook had been there, but hadn't really been
Mhm.
posting much
Mhm.
um, because it was just Rachel. And we've grown our audience, but people don't engage much. I added in a question on our form when you sign up for an account on our website
Hmm.
to see where people are hearing about SORP, and many say social media. And I'm
Hmm.
like, interesting.
Interesting.
So they're
Yeah.
not engaging much, commenting, liking, those kind of things. But we are a professional association, so
Sure.
LinkedIn, I think, is very important for
Yeah.
our our audience. Um, and then we have our discussion boards, and we don't see tons of activity, but I actually was just having this discussion yesterday with Rachel and Angie, our new training specialists, that I think our members are maybe not necessarily afraid, but don't want to be the first one to say something. They don't
Sure.
want to pose the question. And we did have feedback in our survey with everything going on with federal jobs, which we have a lot of federal
Yeah.
agency members. They are worried about the security of our discussion boards. And so
Mm-hmm.
they don't necessarily want to say something there. So I was thinking about maybe it's they need a little prompting. So that's what I'm going to be implementing here soon.
Okay.
But we had a member check-in last week, the week before, that was not recorded,
Yeah.
free to attend, members only, and fabulous conversation, great conversation. People really engaged, people really sharing their stories.
Yeah.
And we see that a lot, like at NORC, the National Outdoor Recreation Conference that SORT puts on. Again, acronyms. When we were in Tahoe in 2024, over 600 people came. And I mean, I have been to many conferences. That's
Hmm.
kind of another aspect of the things I do is planning events.
Sure.
Um, it was one of the most the energy was just amazing, and the people were friendly and welcoming,
Yeah.
and I mean we were talking about it for months after about just how we found our people. And
Yeah.
I'm not even, an outdoor recreation planner or land manager, and I'm just like, I found my people. These are
Yeah.
the nicest
They're the
people.
coolest people. This industry is chock full of the
Yes.
coolest people.
Yeah.
I used to work in my career. I've worked, in healthcare and financial marketing and all the different types of marketing, right? And people, my experience, people were so locked up with information, protective, didn't want to share anything, didn't want to talk to each other. Very, yeah, just like I had a dog one time that was like very, very protective of its food bowl. It just reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Will you go into this industry and I mean, I'm hard pressed to find anybody that I'm like, that's a real jerk. Like,
Yeah.
I've not met very many, if any, people that I would classify as that. Pretty cool stuff, you know?
I agree. I agree. I've worked in higher ed, and the politics there, real fun. I
Yeah.
worked in state government, financial state government,
Hmm.
real tightly wound people.
Yeah,
And
sure.
then you get
Sure.
these outdoor people who are, so at AOR, we partner with Athletic Business for our conference. And
Yeah.
when we go on site visits, they're like, yeah, the AOR people. And I was like, what's that supposed to mean? They're like, it looks like you sleep in a van. You always wear flannel. And I'm just like, okay, that's stereotyping a little bit too much.
Right, sure.
But I would say we're the friendliest people.
Heck yeah.
We are laid back. We are very welcoming, inclusive, yeah, fun bunch.
It's a good group. Okay, we got a few minutes, and are you ready for the lightning round?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, great. We don't have sound effects. I wish we had like some zoom, 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 but we don't have those. Maybe Andy will put those in. Okay. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Good choice, by the way. Do you have a marketing book or a design book or a newsletter or a specific YouTuber, somebody that you would recommend? One of those resources you recommend to somebody listening to this to check out?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one.
Mhm.
Right now I'm really into the world of art, so not so
Okay,
much marketing, but I've
sure.
been diving into a lot of art books. I don't have any specific ones, but then I've been taking classes with Denver Botanic Gardens, and they have some like marketing things in there that are really nice. So I'll say them.
Okay, what's the name again?
Denver Botanic Gardens, their School of Art and Botanic Illustration.
How do you spell dimmer?
Denver.
Denver. Oh, excuse
Yeah.
me. I'm sorry. I was like, I'm not hearing that right. Okay. Denver Botanical Garden of Art. What is it? I'm sorry.
Denver Botanic Gardens, their School of Botanic Art and Illustration.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I'm very clumsy here today. Okay, does pineapple belong on pizza?
No.
Yeah, why would you put that on there? That's I don't know. I don't get it. All right, if you had to pick just one, you might like a variety of these things, but one over the others, would you rather bike, hike, paddle, or climb?
Hike.
Very good. Finally, if there was one thing in the marketing space, which is a big space, that you would encourage someone listening to this podcast to do, to take an action on, what would it be? What would you encourage them to do?
Work on building a good email list.
Hmm.
We live in a world of social media. Apps can disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Your email list will not. If
Mm-hmm.
they are well informed, you're not spamming their inbox,
Mm-hmm.
and you're giving them relevant content.
That is great advice. We've been telling people that a lot recently, especially in the last few years, as you might have 1 million people that follow you on whatever platform. How many of them are actually seeing it as they hold our fans or whatever hostage from us? That's one thing that, if you have their email and you can reach their inbox, you can still get to them. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. We live in a world of social media, but also comparison. You get so hard on yourself when you don't get many likes and you see other
Sure.
people getting likes.
Sure.
You have no idea what's going behind those likes. Are they being bought? Are they bots?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. That email list,
Mm-hmm.
those analytics, that's pretty true as they can get.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Rebecca, thanks so much for taking time to chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Many thanks again to Rebecca Maguire. If you want to reach out to Rebecca, Rebecca, what's the best way to get in contact? You at your design website?
Yeah, my website is www.rebeccaleedesigns.com, and that's Leigh, Lee. And then my email is hello@rebeccaleedesigns.com.
There you go. Cool. Well, thanks for being on the show. Appreciate that. Thanks for everybody for listening to this episode of the Outdoor Marketing Podcast. You can check out future episodes of the show on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube as well. And don't forget to visit our website for the Outdoor Marketing Bootcamp at outdoormarketingbootcamp.com. Pretty simple. Thanks so much for listening.